Welcome back to the Heritage Food Stories podcast, Episode 8, Haitian Influence on New Orleans Cuisine. Today we're diving into the Haitian influence on Louisiana, not to take away from Creole identity or New Orleans tradition, but to better understand how migration, shared language, faith, and survival helped shape one of the most celebrated food cultures in America. Because when we understand the history, the food tastes even richer.
I'm your host, Chef Murray, a classically trained New York City chef with deep roots in Caribbean culture and a lifelong passion for global cuisines, culinary history, and the stories behind the food we eat.
Today, Fat Tuesday officially launches Mardi Gras season. Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras are deeply tied to New Orleans, its food, its music, and its culture. But like all rich food traditions, Louisiana cuisine didn't develop in a vacuum. It emerged through centuries of movement, exchange, and adaptation shaped by indigenous peoples, Africans, Europeans, and Caribbean migrants. Today, we're exploring the Haitian influence on New Orleans and Louisiana cuisine, not to diminish the ingenuity of native New Orleans people and the rich Creole history there, but as a contributing factor in a much larger and beautifully complex cultural fabric. Before Louisiana became part of the United States in 1803, it existed within a broader French and Spanish speaking Atlantic world. This world included many peoples with origins in Louisiana, Saint-Domingue, modern-day Haiti, other Caribbean islands, and West and Central Africans. People, ideas, and food traditions circulated freely through these regions. Catholicism, language, and culinary practices created a shared culture. Louisiana cuisine, including what we now call Creole cooking, reflects this layered history. During the late 18th and early 19th centuries, especially following the upheaval of the Haitian Revolution beginning in 1791, New Orleans received a significant number of migrants from Saint-Domingue. These arrivals included enslaved Africans, free people of color, and white settlers. Between 1809 and 1810, roughly 10,000 people from Saint-Domingue arrived in New Orleans, bringing with them familiar rice-based dishes, established seasoning traditions, techniques for slow-cooked stews and sauces. Rather than replacing existing foodways, these traditions blended with indigenous, African American, French, and Spanish practices already present in Louisiana, contributing to the evolution of regional cuisine. This is how cuisines grow, not through a single source, but through ongoing exchange. But before we go any further, let's go into who are the Louisiana Creoles. Now, let's go a little deeper because Louisiana Creoles are not just a food style. They are an ethnic group with a real documented history. The word Creole originally meant born in the colony. In Louisiana, that could mean someone of French or Spanish descent who was born there instead of Europe. But over time, especially in New Orleans and South Louisiana, Creole came to describe a distinct community of people with mixed heritage. Louisiana Creoles historically descended from some of the groups already mentioned above: French and Spanish settlers, West and Central Africans, free people of color, Caribbean migrants, including people from Saint-Domingue, and in some cases, Native American communities. Because Louisiana was under French and Spanish rule for generations, interracial relationships within the Catholic framework were structured differently than in Anglo-American colonies. This led to the development of a large population of free people of color, many of whom were educated, property owning, French speaking, and deeply rooted in Louisiana long before it became part of the United States. When Haitian refugees arrived in the early 1800s, many of them were French-speaking Catholics as well. So culturally, there was already shared culture. That doesn't mean Haitians became Creoles, but there was overlap in language, religion, and social structure that allowed communities to easily integrate and influence one another. To this day, Louisiana Creoles have retained French and Creole language traditions, Catholic religious practices, distinct music styles that later influenced jazz, family naming patterns, food traditions passed down through generations. Louisiana French Creole, similar to Haitian Creole, is still spoken in parts of the state today, especially in rural parishes. Though the language declined after Americanization and English only schooling policies, there has been a strong cultural revival in recent years. So, when we talk about Creole culture, we're talking about a people, not just a seasoning blend or a style of cooking. We're talking about a community that has existed for centuries, adapting while still holding on to its identity, language, and culture. So let's talk about Fat Tuesday. Fat Tuesday exists because of Catholic traditions leading into Lent, a shared practice across Mediterranean Europe, the Caribbean, and parts of Africa. In both Louisiana and Haitian communities, food played a central role in marking celebration before fasting, communal gatherings, resourcefulness, and abundance. The emphasis on rich layered flavors during Mardi Gras season reflects a shared religious rhythm rather than a single cultural origin. These similarities help explain why certain foods feel familiar across cultures while still remaining uniquely local. So let's go a little bit into Haitian history and the Louisiana Purchase because they are connected. Haitian history is American history in ways that often go unrecognized. The Haitian Revolution reshaped global politics, and its ripple effects reached North America. Napoleon was in the trenches fighting the Haitian Revolution and he needed money. The Louisiana Purchase occurred because of that need. The reason those states, which include literally about half of the country, became part of the United States is due to the Louisiana Purchase. Those states include Louisiana, Arkansas, Iowa, Montana, Nebraska, the Dakotas, Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Missouri, Kansas, Wyoming, and partial areas of several other states. This moment altered the trajectory of the United States, expanding its territory and changing its future. Acknowledging this connection isn't about claiming ownership. It's about understanding how interconnected these histories truly are. Haitian contributions to freedom movements extended beyond the Caribbean, and these are things we are not taught in school. I was so surprised when I visited Savannah, walking through the historic district, and came upon a statue dedicated to Haitian soldiers who helped Americans hold on to Savannah during the Revolutionary War. This is an example of how Black resistance and cooperation crossed borders long before modern nations were defined. I've written more about this on my blog, so I'm going to link in the show notes the article that you can read for further information about this. Louisiana cuisine is the result of many hands, many journeys, and many histories. Recognizing Haitian influence doesn't diminish Creole culture, it deepens our understanding of how Louisiana became what it is today. There's a reason this city of diverse culinary contributions is known as one of the most delicious states of America. From gumbo to etouffee to red beans and rice, food history is not about competition, it's about connection. And Fat Tuesday is the perfect moment to reflect on that shared heritage.
Thanks for listening today. You'll find the full articles, recipes, and related resources linked in the show notes. For more stories where food meets history and culture, subscribe to my newsletter on Substack, Heritage Food Stories. I'm Chef Mireille. See you in the next episode.